सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्य भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे नित्यं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। योऽन्तःप्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। So continuing the 4 kodis also, Chadushkodi it is called. Chadushkodi is also negated. You can have any type of idea about Atman, but Atman is not affected by your idea. It is immaculate, immutable and changeless, and it is in its own glory. What you think or what you understand is not its problem. It's not veiled by your imaginary definitions. That is what is said there. This Chadushkodi doesn't affect him. It may be not Chadushkodi, it may be 40 kodis or 400 kodis. There are many opinions about that highest reality, but reality is not affected by your imaginations. That was said there. Asti nastiri, and it is all very funny. They look balisham. They are all very childish way of explaining something which cannot be explained. So indescribable cannot be described, and when they try to discover it, it appears to be very childish. And that's what he meant there. Kotyas chatasra edastu grahe yasam sadavrudaha Bhagavan abhirasprishto yena drishtaha sa sarvadrik. That sarvadrik is not affected. 84th verse says is not affected. The 4 alternative theories regarding nature of the Atman, but as that which is the substratum of all perception of the senses, the mind or the intellect, that absolute self is never affected by your imaginary ideas, imaginary perceptions. It's not affected. And when I realize that omnipotent Lord, what happens? Know the self and know thyself. Gurudev said in the 84th verse, Prapya sarvajnadam krishnam brahmanyam padam avyayam. And you reach that Brahma padam. Pravisha Brahmapadam, somewhere it comes. And Anabannadi madhyandam kimadapparamihate. Having attained that which has no beginning and end and middle, nothing. It's only one Egatma Pratyasaram. It's only one homogeneous reality. There is no divisions in it. There is no khandam it is not. It is not part. It is one Purna Atma. All that was said so many times, and it should be in your mind when you meditate on that highest. Anabannadi madhyandam kimadapparamihade. Having attained that, what else is there to think about? What else is there to know? More. Keep all your books closed. But I am asking you again and again, go and read. Why? Only if you have reached there. Otherwise you can't close your books. If you feel you have reached, then you can close the books or throw it away also. It doesn't matter. Because books are not knowledge. It's only a medium through which I come to know. But that itself is not Paramatma. So why should I? But we have got the habit, from time immemorial. Any book, any holy book, worship it. That is all. Don't open it. Only worship it. Is it not? In your houses and all you will see big Gita book, Ramayana book, and nice silken cover also you get. Even silken cover only covers it. When wonderful theories also only cover the Atman, never reveals its glory to us. Unless you open and absorb what is said in the Shastras, Shastras cannot do much for you. Yad aksharam adhigamyade, by which that akshara, that imperishable is reached, that knowledge is only aparavidya. Whether it is from the Vedas, whether it is from the Upanishads, whether it is from anywhere, it is only aparavidya. So change it into paravidya by realizing the self is what the books and the teachers and the Shastras say again and again. Now, 86. Vipranam, we haven't taken that. 86. Vipranam vinayo hesha shama prakrita uchyate dama prakritidan dattvat evam vidwan shamam vrajet. So, when you have attained the realization of Brahman, Vipranam vinayo hesha, such people, they are naturally become humble. What a beautiful way saying that how do you know that a person has realized? He will become humble. In that understanding of the greatness of that Atma Vastu, I realize my own littleness. Alpatvam you come to know. And when you know your own alpatvam, you become humble. But when you are studying and you are using your intellect to understand this, what happens is, unknown to you, pride comes. I know so much. I have studied all the books. So what happened? Have you changed it in any way? No. I have added one more ounce of yoga. Ego. This we have to guard against. A student has to guard against this. That whatever I learn cannot make me really know the Lord that higher. I need the help of the Lord to realize first. And it is not by my intellect I am coming to know, it is by something in you, the intuitive power in you that you come to realize. So, Ma Kuru Dhana Jana Yavvana Garvam is said in the Bhajagovindam. But actually, the pride of knowledge is greater than any other pride and cannot be destroyed easily. Other things, by naturally they will go. If you are young and beautiful, there will come a time when you are neither. If you are wealthy, there may come a time when all the wealth is lost, but never the knowledge. So you become proud of your knowledge, your pride is going to last forever. Hence, don't become humble. The more you know, the more you come to know that you don't know. That is the beauty of this knowledge. That the more I learn, I realize miles to go before I realize. And even if I realize, I do not know whether I know the entire thing as it is. So, as a person, you never know that. You become one with it in that attunement, then maybe you have a glimpse of what you are. It should make us really humble. Vidya Vinaya Sambanna. Vidya should be accompanied with Vinayam. That is what he says. Hinted at the felt man of realization feels a sense of fulfillment, having discovered himself to be the all-perfect pure consciousness. He feels there is nothing for him to accomplish or achieve, and that is the greatest. That tendency of our ego to express itself should be curbed. When you are standing in front of something much, much greater than you, how can you be proud at all? You will become naturally humble. He says here, Vipranam vinayo hesha shama pragrada uchyate. For him, everything is natural. The sadhaka, the siddhas, lakshanas, they become. A siddha purusha will naturally become humble, will naturally become loving. Not that he make any more effort to become. There is no effort. Effortlessly he is humble. Effortlessly he is loving. Effortlessly he is accommodative. All those divine qualities come to him automatically. Not as a result. Now what, in the middle stages when we are sadhakas, what we are trying to do is, we try to love everyone, but very difficult. Very difficult means, before we love someone, the judgment comes to us. Natural, all these are for everybody. And because of that judgment, we are not able to truly love them. Judgmental we become. It says, we want a man of realization. It is an effortless awakening to his own true nature. Anandam, when you say Bhagavan is Ananda Swarupa, it really means it is all love. Because only love can bring about that type of Anandam, that type of bliss. And what is love? Not on for a particular person or a particular set of people, but the entire creation you love. That is when you have got that drishti of Sarvatma Bhavam. Everything is me, myself. And when once I realize this thing, wherever you look, yatra yatra manoyadi tatra tatra samadheha. Wherever the mind goes into samadhi. Meaning thereby what? Open eye meditation, that I see the Paramatma in everything. This is true bhakti, this is true jnanam. That is why we always say para-bhakti is nothing but para-jnanam. One whose mind goes into the world outside, though unrealistic world by arguments, by logic, by everything. Once I realize that the adhishtanam from which this is rising is that Atma Chaitanyam, Ajam, Advayam, all explanation, Akhanda Bodham, everything we know, then we see only that and not the Namarupas. The Namarupas are there, but I have no use for them. I go beyond the Namarupa and see the Akhanda Satya in which it is expressing itself. And it is in that Akhanda Satya I see it, or I get knowledge of that object only in that. If I am conscious only, I get knowledge. Yes. Thus, we have to keep on rolling this idea in the mind until at last, when it becomes realization, you naturally become all this divine personality. It's a voiceless experience. Hence, no explanation can make it complete. You have to supply whatever is there. So he say, God, asti nasti. Vipranam vinayo hesha. These are all values which are internalized. Shama pragrida uchyade. Swabhavya. Now here Brahmana you should not take as Brahmana. What is Brahmana was said yesterday. One who walks that path of Brahman and awakens to that higher state, he is called a Brahmana. Not by mere birth. It can be with birth also. But birth, Brahman is only a caste. But here Brahmana means the one who realizes Brahman. Okay? Like that you understand. Shama pragrida uchyade swabhavika. It is natural to him that vinayam, dhamma, control of the sense organs, control of the mind, everything, shama, dhamma, these swabhavas are there in such a man of realization, and his mind becomes calm and serene forever, effortlessly. Before I was doing so much of effort, to take me to the seat of meditation itself is very difficult. Every day the mind protests. Come on, why you want to get up in the early morning? Now. Sleep. And if you listen to the mind, you are missing the opportunities to self-improvement. Is it not? And if you are doing it, you are doing it with effort against the might. Then slowly, slowly it becomes internalized and you are happy to do the sadhanas, and as a result you come to that effortless state. You know, in Yoga Marga they say, first you do dharana, then dhyanam, then you understand? Dharana, dhyanam, samadhi. Now, what is dharana? The sadhanas that you do with effort. Where you must meditate from this time to this time, and again I bring back my mind from the running after various objects of the world, again and again. Yada yedo nischaradi manas chanchalam astiram manaha. I bring it back. Atma samstam mana krutva na kinchidabi chindayet. So that is the instruction in the 6th chapter. So whenever the mind goes away from its goal, again and again bring it back to the goal. So that dharana period is a period when we do sadhana with effort. Then comes dhyanam. When dharana matures, when sadhana matures, what happens? You get dhyanam. Dhyanam is, without any effort, the mind is going to its goal. That is called dhyanam. Dhyanam is not a meditation is not by effort. When it becomes effortless in the last stages of meditation, and meditation just happens, and not that I am meditating, that's a wrong word. I am contemplating, I am doing dharana will be the better word. And what happens? It becomes dhyanam. So, those of us who are not able to get meditation either must resort to a lot of, what can I say, the namasmaranam. Suppose you cannot, mind is not becoming controlled, then you do namasmaranam. Start with it. If you are truly having a Ishtadevada and you have got a relationship with that, then the namasmarana becomes possible. Suppose Shiva is our Ishtadevada, Om Namah Shivaya, and even when you are working, when you are driving the car, whatever it is going on, chanting within yourself, the japa becomes ajapa. Without your effort only it starts coming then. You understand? It is called ajapam. And when you come to that stage, the mind goes to the object of its meditation without any effort. That becomes dhyanam. Is that clear? And dhyanam matures. Long years of practice of meditation, what happens? One day it just opens that window for you. And you have a glimpse of the truth. And once you get the glimpse of the truth and experience that unbelievable joy, endless joy, you want to repeat it again and again. Samadhi abhyasam will be there. And after that, even that is not necessary. I am always in sahaja samadhi. This is the process of meditation. Meditation itself is a part of the yoga method. In Vedantic method, we call it only nididhyasanam, that is contemplation on the truth. But everybody can't do it. That is why we resort to Bhakti Marga, we resort to Yoga Marga. Everybody, the Shastra is for everybody, not only for one type of person. Whatever you are qualified to do, you hold on to that Marga and go deep into that Marga, you are sure to reach. That is said here, Shama Pragrita Uchyade, Dhamma Pragriti Dandatvad Evam Vidwan Shamam Vrajed. That Vidwan, no more there is a struggle to attain these values. They become your hallmark. You understand? One who is practicing can easily be recognized in a crowd of people. Very calm, serene person. Very understanding, very accommodative. All these qualities, these values will become yours. And you are not, don't try to put on, not a facade. Don't make it a facade. I have to be, everybody must admire me. So, I am very, inside will be a volcano. Outside, very calm. That is of no use. Any type of artificiality will prevent you from reaching there. No artificial show. Arrive at it by great effort, by understanding, by doing sadhanas with the right attitude, and you will reach and you will internalize those. It becomes, until it becomes what we call second nature. Is it not? We say it becomes their second nature. What you practice all the time. So suppose you are a person who always hates everybody. There are some people. Their nature is like that. Swabhavastu pravartade. Anything they will see only the bad qualities in the other. No good qualities. Such people are said to have kaga drishti. Kaga. The crow went to America and came back on a trip. Visa, they don't need visa and all, so it went. And the other crows there welcomed it and took it to, we have got a banquet for you. And they took him to the best garbage. Garbage can in America. You understand? And he said, he had his fill there, all types of things to eat, and he had not seen it in India because our garbage cans will have nothing but paper and plastic cover. There, all big loaves of bread and half a goat, everything will be there in that. So the crow had a good time. We also go to America for that only, most of the time, because we cannot get anything here, and then we go there. There everything is available, cheap. And you can get, it's a nice place for people to stay. So the crow had a very happy time and it came back. And when it came back, everybody asked, come for a meeting and tell us what all you saw in America. Usually they do, when we come back from abroad. Foreign returned. The word English is all wrong. How can it be foreign returned? You have to understand, add some more words there. Then he said, in America I saw the most sumptuous things to eat in the garbage. Okay? He did not see the Empire State Buildings. He did not see anything else. There were huge buildings and that and this. There are lots of things to see. That all he didn't see. He saw only what he wants to see. Is it not? That is called Kagadrishti. So a person may be a very good person and he may have one or two faults. This man will see only those faults. Then we say he has Kagadrishti. He cannot see the person. Whereas the good people will always see the good points, not the bad points. The bad people, like Duryodhana and Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira says, I cannot see any bad person in this world. Duryodhana says, I cannot see any good person in this world. He has Kagadrishti. So then, concluding the topic, Samsara Karanam and Moksha Karanam in this 75 to 86. We have seen, we have written there, 75 to 86 is Samsara Karanam and Moksha Karanam are all said. Now he goes to a type of classification of our experiences in the three states. The waking state, the dream state and the deep sleep state. Actually an upasamharam, we can say, a conclusion. What he had explained so far, he is putting it in a column, like in a table as it were, and he says in the very important verse next, Savastu sobalambham cha dvayam laukikamishyade avastu sobalambham cha shuddham laukikamishyade. Savastu, that which is associated with objects, sobalambham, and which brings about an anubhavam for you. Ubalambham means anubhavam. Sobalambham, with anubhavam, what I am experiencing. And what are they? Savastu, there is bahya padartha perception. The perception of bahya padarthas are there. This is called dvayam laukikamishyade. What is this state? Waking state. What is that state? Waking state. There is the bahya padarthas, gross objects, and there is my perception of those bahya padarthas. This happens in Which state? Waking state. Okay, that is called the waking state. And avastu sobhalambham cha shuddham laugikam ishyate. Avastu, there is no real objects. Only vasanamayam. Which one? The dream world. There is no real objects there. In the dream, you are not seeing real objects. You are seeing only the waking mind, whatever vasanas it had created in the waking state is carried over to the dream state. And in the dream, you are seeing only appearances of those waking the objects that you have experienced in the waking state. Hence, they are avastu. They don't have any real gross objects there. It is sukshmam. It is only vasana of the objects that you had already experienced in the waking state comes out in the dream in the what form? In sukshma form, in subtle form. So in the dream, is there a real object inside? That is why elephant can come, everything can come inside, samvruddhi. How can it happen in a mind which is only so big? My body itself is only so small. Inside that body, how can I see an elephant? You are not seeing an elephant actually. Avastu. There is no vastu there. I am seeing the impressions of that which I have seen before in the waking state. Yeah. So you can see it inside. Otherwise you cannot. You cannot allow a elephant to enter into your mind or body, which is so small. How can an elephant go inside? So what do you understand? Avastu. There is no vastu there. There vastu swarupam is only vasana about that vastu. What I have understood in the waking state, I am seeing it in a subtle form as an idea in my dream state. That is said there, avastu, sobalambham cha. That also is experienced by whom? Not by the waker, but the dreamer. The waker eye becomes the dreamer eye and experiences the vasana mayam lokam, which was there before it was not vasana, it was real to the waker, and you have awakened, you have come to the dream state, and for the dreamer it is only impressions of the waking world. And impressions are not exactly real. They don't have any substantiality. That is what is said there. Sobalambham, but avastu. There is no vastu there. Whereas in the waking state, there is vastu. There are objects seen. In this, there is no object seen, and this is called, because there is no real objects in the dream state is called Shuddha Laugikam. The first is called Laugikam. The second is called Shuddha Laugikam Ishyate. We will explain that. And in the Sushupti, what happens? He says in the next verse, we will read it together. Avastvanubalambham cha lokottaramiti smrudam jnanam jneyam cha vijneyam sada buddhai prakirtidam. So, Jagrad is experience plus object, Swapnam is experiences plus mere vasanas, mere impressions. Not, Vastu is not there in its substantial form, and it's an objectless thought. And Sushupti is neither the Anubhavam nor the Vastu. Neither the object nor the experience of it. Both are not there. What is that state? Sushupti. You don't see anything, you don't know anything, you don't experience anything. No vastu is there because the mind is sleeping. Understand? And nothing is there. What is there but? Avidya is there. Avidya is there. It is covered with avidya. A nice blanket. When you are sleeping, you put a blanket, And a nice blanket we put in the deep sleep state, which is called blanket of avidya. And if you put blanket, you cannot see anything outside or inside or anywhere. You just go off to sleep. So, these three states are analyzed in this way by the Karika here, that wants us to remember that the Karikas are the contents of this Upanishad. These Karikas contain the entire Mandukya Upanishad, and he is telling, this is what I have been talking to you all these days and boring you. That is what Karika wants to inform us. What I was talking is, in fact, he is doing the Upasamharam himself. That through the knowledge of the waking state, dream state and the deep sleep states, you will come to realize that which is beyond. Vijnayam, that should be understood. Beyond all these three is that Vijnayam, that Turiya. We call it Turiya in Mandukya. That has to be understood. But for understanding that, the knowledge of these three will be helpful. That is pointed out in these verses, and if you really go through it till here, he says, we will read that. 85. So, the 85 we took, isn't it? 86. Brahmajnani having realized his true nature, that is 86th verse, their humility or disciplined behavior is natural to them. It is not a put-on show. It is second nature to them, and he is established in his own Brahmi nature. Even the Shastra cannot go to such a man with action. So if he doesn't like to do any action, Shastra does not say he must act. Why? Because he is a Jivan Mukta, ko vidhi ko nishedha. Nothing, no nishedha, no do's, no don'ts in his life. Thereafter, he may want to do something, help the society, he may do work. Like our Gurudev, he will come down. Even for Gurudev to come down, Tapobanji put up such a resistance. He said, you don't go down. You will be destroyed by the adulation of the people. That's what he told him. The people will worship you and you will become proud and you will never reach. Understand? Don't go. Stay here only. Like he did. All his life he stayed. He never came down. At the age of 30 or something, Tapobanji went to Uttarkashi and he never came down at all. At the most he will go to, when Shivanandaji was alive, he used to go to Rishikesh. Otherwise, after that he stopped going there also. He ever lived in that heights of the Himalayas. From there he will go to Gomukh and Gangotri and other place. When we went to Uttarkashi, we met a person who was serving Tapovan Maharaj in those days. He was a devotee of Tapovan Maharaj. And we all wanted to know how was Tapovan Maharaj and how you tell us about him. And then he said, if you can think of something which is condensed peace, that was Tapovan Maharaj. He said, he was like a person who is nothing but peace condensed into a human being. That's what we used to feel Shantamurti he was, told us. Very old man. He used to come to Tabon. Now, these times I didn't see. Last time and all I didn't see. So, it is natural to them. Even the Shastra cannot goad such a man to action. Then what goads him to action? His own compassion. Why should Gurudev come and go? I mean, after all, you know that it is not easy to go from place to place. All his 40 years of his life, 4 decades. He was going from one place to another every 7th day, 8th day. Is it a joke? And also eat different types of food, different climates, and different type people. Later on he had all royal comforts, but initially the people used to call him, and there will not be even a place to sleep or very little privacy. Like that and all, he had travelled all over India. Don't look at now all of us and say, for them what cushy life. But our Gurudev had gone through the mill. Before that, when he was in Uttarakashi, if you had seen the picture of Gurudev in Uttarakashi, you will, so thin he was. As though famished he looked. So, that is the way he had done the sadhanas. He has done the vicharam. That is why he was able to give so much. He used to tell the students, like to us, he will say, unless you do sadhana, unless you do meditation, your words will never carry weight to the students. It will not touch their heart. These are his words. Your words cannot touch others unless you have done the sadhanas, unless you have got at least a glimpse of what you are talking about. Empty words it becomes. What all Gurudev has taught us. Do your sadhana and sit in the dais and talk. Then it will go straight to their heart. He used to say, which I believe, because from my 20 years of experience in the preaching field also, that is what happens. Unless we ourselves practice, and he had written somewhere very clearly, if you don't meditate, don't tell them to meditate. If you have not controlled your mind and the sense organs, don't tell them, because it will not carry weight. So it is not easy to be a teacher of his dimension, going from place to place. And last 10 years or 20 years, he was only on the wheelchair. But that also didn't prevent him from doing his work. Such dedication to work you will hardly see in an ordinary man. The moment you become sick, take to bed. That's so many things we learned from his life. His life was his teaching, we say, His life was his teaching, not what he taught from the books. But why? Because the Mahatma who had understood that acquires all the divine qualities. And that is said there in the 86th verse, not Shama, Dama, etc. If you are prescribed all this, it is for the sadhakas, not for the jnani. Jnani automatically have all that. Hence, no condition for them. You can do whatever you want. He will not do something bad. That is understood. It is for the seekers. For him, there is no kartavya to be done in this world. He is free. He is truly free. So, some Mahatmas stayed there only in the Himalayas, in the Guha. Some Mahatmas, very rare, they came down to help the people who are suffering from ignorance. They came down, and one of them was our Gurudev. See, Tabon Maharajan did not come, but he sent his disciple. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa didn't go anywhere. He sat where he was in that Panchavati. Dakshineshwar. He never came down. Like that, they have sent their main Shishyas around the world. Have they not done anything for the world? They have. They have given them a Vivekananda or a Swami Chinmayananda who had changed the thoughts of the world. That is enough. That's more than enough. The source is there. Is it not? Whatever we are now knowing, the source is in the Uttarkashi and those days. And now in the 87th verse, the author's Vedantic method of arriving at the correct knowledge is explained. In that 87th verse, the word savastu means samvriddhi, that is objects perceived with the help of external sense organs. Bahya artham. Bahya artham means Bahyendriya gojaram. Bahyendriya gojaram is called samvriddhi and perceived with the help of external objects, with the help of external sense organs, bahyartha. Savastu means accompanied with that type of objects which is seen by the external sense organs and which are gross in nature. Accompanied with savastu, accompanied with gross objects. Sobalambham means accompanied with anubhavam or perception. Sobalambham, which is perceived, which is experienced. Perceived means experienced. That anubhavam is there, accompanied by perception or anubhavam. In Swapna, there is no samvriddhi. That is, the experience is without the use of external sense organs. The dream experience has no sense organs and hence sense organs is not there. So Dhamma is there in the dream. And he says it is Shuddham, pure, subtle. The dream experience is pure experience. There is nothing gross about it. It is subtle and without any external objects. In Vedanta, they are all held as we need to know all these things? Because that is an upaya for arriving at the correct knowledge of that which is beyond this. What is lying beyond these three, we have to come. This is an upaya. By analyzing the avasthatraya, I will come to that which is, and this is all said in the Omkara Upasana, the three matras are mithya, but the fourth one is the reality. The bindu and anuswaram stands for turiya. Turiya avastha is the reality. The three avasthas are mithya. And when you meditate, you are meditating on that. Akara stands for waking state, mithya state, and ukara stands for dream state, which is also mithya state. And the absence of all experiences in the deep sleep state is also mithya. But we are nearing to the truth. Why? Because all other, when the mind and everything has stopped, or it has stopped by itself in deep sleep, then what happens? There is no experience, no vastu. Avastu, there is no experience of anything. In the deep sleep, you don't even experience deep sleep. Only thing that you remember is, I was ignorant. Ignorance is the only reality which Prajna knows. But nothing else was there. No object was there. No experience of the objects also was there. That is called the in the Jagrat state, the gross objects which are Indriya Grahya and their experiences is there. In the dream state, there are no gross objects, but only their appearances and that experience is there. But the Grahya Grahaka Bhava is common to both the states. In the waking state also, the Grahya, the subject-object relationship is there. In the dream state also, the Grahya Grahaka Bhava is equal to both. And the experience is equal to both. Experience is there. In one there are objects, gross objects. In one there are only subtle remembrance of those objects. That is all. That is all the difference. But there is a subject, there is a what type of object? Sukshma object in the dream and gross object in the Sukshma object is pointed out here as avastu. It is avastu sobalambham. But experience is common to both. That was said there, and it is called pure without any external objects. Hence Shuddham, and it is called Shuddha Laugiyam, is called Swapna. So these three states you have to understand. And what next he said, the next is the waking state, which we have already read. It is called Logottaram. Logottaram means? Deep sleep is Logottaram. Why are you calling Logottaram? Because there is no Loka there. See, the waking experience is in the waking world. And the dream experiences is in the Swapna world. Is it not? Dream world is there. But there is no world in the sleep state. Hence it is called Logottaram, that which is beyond the Lokas. Which are my waking world and my dream world both had entered in the deep sleep world. And I don't experience any objects or I don't have any experience there. I have glided into sleep. Bas. That is all. So I have none of avastu and no alambanam, no avalambam there. What is the word he uses? Avastu anubalambam. The other two are sobalambam. This is avastu anubalambam. Neither the anubhavam nor the vastu is there in Sushupta, and logottaram iti smrudam. It is called logottaram. And jnanam jneyam cha vijneyam sada buddhai prakirtidam. These three states is called jnanam jneyam savijneyam. What is that? Savijneyam. He put a lot. By what knowledge I am seeing the world of waking world and its objects and its experiences? By what knowledge I am able to know the dream experiences and the dream world? That knowledge of, is it not? That is called jnanam in common parlance. I have jnanam of that tree now because I am seeing it. Is it not? This jnanam has to be understood. And what is to be known? Sa atma savijneyaha prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaidam in our verse. Prapancha upashamam. When is prapancha upashamam taking place? In the deep sleep state. But deep sleep state is a state of ignorance. So when do I see? What is the truth I cannot see in the deep sleep state? Then when can I see? Only even that deep sleep world also should go into abeyance. Then I see it as it is. Some people think that deep sleep is samadhi. Jada samadhi, that is all. Samadhi it is. Jada samadhi. So this This verse has to be very thought of. Logotara, without object and perception, without subject-object relationship, beyond worldly experience, the state of deep sleep. What is the state of deep sleep? What is its nature? It is without object and perception. Without any object. In the deep sleep, there are no objects to be perceived. In the deep sleep, without object, and there is no perception also. There is no anubalambham. There is no perception of anything in the deep sleep. Without object or perception, whether gross or subtle, no object is perceived in deep sleep. In the waking world, gross objects are perceived. In the dream world, subtle objects are perceived. But in the deep sleep world, nothing is there. Neither gross nor subtle objects are perceived in deep sleep. Without subject-object relationship, that also is not there. Grahya grahaka bhavam is there in the waking state, dream state. But not in a comparison of all the three states he is giving. And not in the deep sleep state. Grahya grahaka bhavam is not there beyond all worldly experience. Because there is no world when you are sleeping. Not the dream sleep, but real sleep. In the dream, in the deep sleep, the world is non-existent to the deep sleeper. Hence it is called logottaram. Hence it is called logottaram. It is not, its experiences are not in these levels. Then what is that? The experience of total ignorance. That is so. That is not belonging to the world. Worldly experience is not there in deep sleep. That is true. You don't know who you are. Even if you ask 10 times to the sleeper, what is your caste? He cannot answer. He won't even hear. All these bahya indriyas are in sleep. You cannot hear. He will not, unless you pour some water on his face, he will not get up also. And if he gets up, there is a bewilderment. Anybody you wake up, like that they will get up. There is no knowledge as such. Logottaram, hence it is called Logottaram by the Karikar. And no worldly experience. This state is called the state of deep sleep. So what should you remember? No objects and no experience. No object-subject relationship. And it is beyond all worldly experience. That state is called deep sleep state. See, like in all sciences, we have to do analysis and classification. Otherwise, how can it become a science? We call Vedanta as science of living. Other things are all science of that and this. But what is this science? Vedanta, the science of living. Now, so common Laugika is common experience, Laugika is, that is world, waking world, and Shuddha Laugika, where there is no objects, and hence it is better than the waking experiences. It is not contaminated by the presence of the objects. So it is called Shuddha Laugika. And what is deep sleep state? Loga Uttara. All the lokas are left behind in that deep sleep state. Ramana says in the Saddarshans, Akhileshthada. Everybody likes deep sleep. Akhila, all people are fond of sleep. Okay? Common experience is laugikam. And what is Vijnaya? Jnanam, Jneyam, and Vijnaya. That has to be, here he says, with what jnana I know the waking world experiences, I know the dream experiences, is because of that conscious principle in me. Otherwise I can't see. I can't see the waking world objects or their experiences if I am not conscious. If consciousness is also sleeping, then what happens? Dead. If consciousness has gone to sleep in you, unconscious person doesn't know anything. In the deep sleep, we are unconscious only. So what is Vijnaya? Not the deep sleep state, but that which is beyond the deep sleep state, the conscious state, the state of consciousness. That's what he says here. Jnaya vastu is Vishesha Anubhavam is required to know that ultimate Jnaya vastu, which is Brahman, which is Turiya. In Mandukya they call it Turiya. Turiya is Visheshena Anubhava is possible only in that. Because sleep itself we cannot know anything. Sleep is a state of ignorance. So sleep is also not there. Vijnaya vastu. Jnana vastu is only the consciousness expressing through our various upadhis. Sopadhika jnanam it is. Through the upadhis you get the jnana of various objects, and we also know that experience through our mind and intellect. That is all. That is called jnanam. In common, I have jnanam of something, that flower. If you say, my sense organs have perceived it. That is it. That perception and that the working of the sense organs all are possible only in the consciousness in me, but I am not aware of it. I am only seeing, and then jnanami iti, I know, like that we say. This jnanam, and what is the jnaya vastu? In the common loka, the jnaya vastu are the objects that are experienced. You are conscious of the objects, conscious of the knowledge that is taking place of that objects in the waking world and the dream world, and the absence of experience also is known to me. In what light? Have you understood? In the light of that conscious, the Turiya. That is where Turiya comes. Vijneyam. That has to be not only, when you say Jneyam, then you will understand it as you know the waking objects. Or as you know the dream object. Not that jnanam. That jnanam is sobadhika. It is sobadhika. Through the ubadhis you are looking. You understand? That knowledge is belonging to the quality of the upadhi. But Vijnaya is that which is knowing self-knowledge is called Vijnaya. That has to be Visheshena understood. Particularly you have to understand it. It is not this knowledge which gives you the knowledge of the objects, knowledge of their experience. It's not the knowledge which gives you the dream world and its of objects and its experiences. It is not that which is the deep sleep world and the absence of all experiences. Who is the one? That samvid. In Panchadashi calls it samvid. That which knows experiences, my waking experiences my dream experiences and the absence of experiences and the avidya in the deep sleep state, in which it is all illumined. All the three states of consciousness are illumined. In that pure consciousness is to be specially understood. That is beyond the world, beyond all experiences of the world in the three periods of consciousness. Hence we call it Avastatraya Sakshi. Even now we have not understood. Sakshi also has to be, Sakshitvam also has to be dropped. To really be there, you must not be a Sakshi also. But on the way we give another name, Sakshi. That which knows all the experiences in the three states of consciousness is called Atma. Atma Savijñeyaha. Where we say? Vijñeya word is come. That Atma has to be understood, really understood. And that is Turiya. See, in 2 little verses he has condensed the whole thing. You understand this? You don't have to give a summary for this actually, because it is all condensed in these 2 small verses, which really the Mahatmas have a way of saying things. So, the Visheshena Anubhava Rupa is called Vijñeya. And that is called Turiya, the Paramartha Tattvam, and which is nothing but the Atma Tattvam that we are talking about. From Laukika onwards to Vijñeya, all these states, the Brahmajnan says that it is the upaya to know the ultimate truth. The Satyam that you are seeking is available when these are the path, these understanding these 3 states of consciousness, and that which is beyond that is to really make your journey to yourself possible. Journey to yourself, not something else. How far are you? Not at all far. But what do you think? Whatever. Vaikuntha, Kailasa, we have found out so many things. That is where the Lord is. So I won't hear me. Whatever I say, whatever I do, no. That is wrong. Because He is there in your own heart as consciousness. Even if you breathe a little louder, He might hear. So you don't have to shout also. Bhajans, the way some people sing bhajans, if God is sitting in His Vaikuntha, He would have fallen out. One day He will fall in this singer's lap, I feel. You understand? So don't shout. Sing softly. Bhajans. Remember, God can hear everything. All these are, don't take it seriously. What is that? 88. Is it not? This Pada, Gaudapada, in these verses, Gaudapada gives his own Vedantic method of awakening to the truth. And that is by analyzing your waking, dream and deep sleep states. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyade Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om